Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection.
Good morning, Needham High School. I'm Steve Flanagan.
And I'm Adina Jacobson, and welcome to our last newscast of the year. We'd like to introduce Steve as my co-anchor for the 2015-2016 school year. Brian is changing anchoring rules for next year, so you'll still see him on the news, don't worry.
Tuesday was the Launch Club's Launch Inno event. Here's Emily Gorick and Sarah Partridge with some more info.
I started the Launch Club in order to get kids to be able to build their own ideas into teams with their friends of startups and nonprofits to really not only apply to competitions, but also to affect direct change in their community. It isn't just, just a project that we're creating. We're also creating a real product that can not only give you independence, not being able to hold your own job, but also so that you can earn money and be independent on your own.
I think of a person who starts their own business.
I think of the game of life.
Someone who makes a business of making money.
Someone who sells stuff.
Someone that makes their own business, like with their own idea.
Person does stuff.
Entrepreneur, spelled ENTRHSTUQ. Next question.
Bill Gates.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Steve Jobs.
The guy who invented Segway, whose name I don't know.
The Monopoly guy.
My dad.
Yeah, definitely.
So statistically, over 1,600 kids, the likelihood of at least one being an entrepreneur is over 100%.
Yeah.
No, all NHS kids are duds.
I'm one of the members of the Launch Club. So this past fall, my friends and I really wanted to make a change in the community. So what we decided to do was work with Launch and the resources that provides us in order to make our vision become a reality. So what we wanted to help was the siblings of kids in hospitals, because we felt a lot of the times these kids feel lonely and overlooked when their brother or sister is in the hospital. So we created a program called Bravery Baskets, which collects items and makes baskets for the siblings of kids in hospitals. We got a $300 grant. A representative from the Ryan Seacrest Foundation contacted us and wanted to get involved in our program, and we've raised over 4 huge boxes of toys. So we're really on our way to making a difference, and Launch has provided me with the resources and the support I need in order to make this vision a reality.
Start something in the Asian countries for helping them with education.
This is a tough question.
End world hunger.
Give people food.
I would give humans the power to fly.
I would eliminate all forms of wealth and currency and replace it with a barter system.
There's so many ways that you can build your own project using your abilities, and I think that the kids at Needham High really have that talent to do so.
Thanks, guys. Summer is just around the corner, and so is summer reading. But don't worry, the English department has worked hard to pick an interesting and enjoyable all-school read, and also make some updates to the requirements. Here's Noah Schachter and Sarah Breitbart-Frischling with more.
For the summer of 2015, all students will be required to read 2 books, a text of their choice from the choice list, and the all-school read.
One of the things that we are most excited about in our second go at an all-school read is that it provides the opportunity for students to engage in larger conversations that span from classroom to classroom, from discipline to discipline.
It's exciting to think that everybody who comes in the building in the fall will have the same book under their belts, and that we can talk with any grade or with any class about the same text, and that every teacher in the building can bring it up with homeroom or their classes and find some content connection And the whole community can read it too, beyond the high school, and that's exciting to think about.
One of the tricky aspects of trying to identify a text for every student in the high school to read is, as everybody knows, we have students ranging in age from 14 to 19. We have students who the first thing they want to do is pick up a book when they have 5 minutes spare time, and we have students for whom reading may not be the first activity that they gravitate towards. And so finding a text that speaks in an interesting and engaging manner to topics that are relevant to everybody in the high school in a way that's accessible has been a challenge. Fortunately, all the teachers in the English department are huge, unabashed dorks who love to read and read extensively on their own time. And so every year I just solicit suggestions from members of the department. In this instance, it was one of our newest teachers, Miss Maffey, who came to me overly enthused about how great this book would be as an all-school read, and I read it and couldn't agree more. So we're very excited to see how students feel about it.
The book looks big, but it's like I finished it in 1 week because it was like really interesting, and I think y'all should read it.
I enjoyed the book because it was a very real experience. That was a very realistic book with realistic struggles that high school students are involved in.
I think everyone will like it. It's a really short read or quick read. The chapters are short, so they fly by, and they switch back and forth between the two characters a little bit. So I think people like it. It's also very relatable for any kid because it's about teenagers and high school and what their days are like and how they relate to each other.
The all-school read for 2015 is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell.
It's not a hard book to read, but I think that some of the topics that come up can be a little bit upsetting. There's some bullying that goes on in the book, and that's hard, but also really important to talk about. And one of the characters has a really difficult home life, and that's upsetting, but again, really important to talk about.
I thought it was hard to think about because unlike other realistic fiction books, these kids had real issues going on in their families and in their lives, and it was kind of hard to see that, yeah, that happens to everyone in real life in Needham.
Some people might have different reactions to the end. I know my teacher, I guess she liked it, but I didn't, so.
I'm definitely going to talk about this book with all my classes in the fall, with my homeroom, when I have freshmen coming in the fall. And I want to be able to have students maybe do some writing about their own experiences as high school students, things they connect to in the book.
Upon returning to school in the fall, classes will engage in a variety of activities and discussions that examine important social and cultural topics such as gender, race, class, sexuality, education, disability, identity, and voice.
If you need a copy of Eleanor and Park, the library will have multiple copies available. However, it is strongly suggested that you purchase your own copy of the book so you can bring it to class in the fall.
I'm just really excited about it. I really liked it. One of my students read it this year, and she emailed me when she had finished it before I had finished it, and she was all fired up about it, and so I said I better finish this so I'll know what she's all mad about. But we ended up having a great conversation about the book, and if that's what happens, then I'm happy.
I hope you will enjoy the book and have a great summer.
For NHSN, I'm Noah Schachter.
The student-run show Avenue Q will go up in 2 weekends, on Friday, June 12th and Saturday, June 13th. The show is a puppet-filled story which follows a group of 20-somethings seeking their purpose in big city life. Tickets are $5 at the door, and the show starts at 7:30 p.m. Come see this PG-13 version of the original Tony Award-winning musical Avenue Q. It will be a blast.
Although this is our last newscast, next week we will air our hilarious bloopers. Tune in next week for some laughs.
Now we'll go to Zach Kaplan for sports.
Thanks, guys. There are 4 teams whose spring tournament started this week. The girls lacrosse team is the 2 seed in D1 South and beat Plymouth North on Monday. They will host the winner of Sandwich and Nauset later this week. The boys lacrosse team is the 1 seed in D1 South and hosted the winner of Plymouth North and Natick last night. Between the 2 teams, there were 13 Bay State All-Stars this season. That's the 2 lacrosse teams. A huge congrats to both Matt Hecker and Katie Belleville, who are both not only conference All-Stars, but also conference MVPs. The boys volleyball team finished 21-0 and got the number 2 seed. They had 4 Bay State All-Stars. They beat Braintree and will take on Greater New Bedford in the sectional semis. Meanwhile, the softball team has knocked all the naysayers and qualified for the playoffs for the first time in a decade. They won 3 straight games to end their season before qualifying with a win over Wellesley last week. Their postseason seeding came out on Monday. The tennis teams both got their seedings on Tuesday. The boys finished their season 12-3, and the girls finished 10-5. In track, both teams competed in the D1 Eastern Mass Championships last weekend. Margate Cullen won the 2-mile race for the girls, and freshman Devontae Burnett won the 100-meter state race for the boys. And that's it for this sports year on NHS News. Be sure to follow NHS Athletics on Twitter for updates on all the games throughout the playoffs. We will also have a special sports update should any of the teams make it to the state championship round. But that's it for now, fans and students. For NHSN Sports, I'm Zach Kaplan.
Thanks, Zach. Now to Julia Orenstein for NHSN Compliments.
Hi, and welcome to NHSN Compliments. The last compliments of the year are, Sarah Partridge's hair is so long, and happy birthday to me. That's all for this year. It's been great complimenting you guys. I'm Julia Orenstein, and this was NHSN Compliments.
Well, that's all for this week.
And this year.
Thanks for tuning in to Needham High School News.
Have a great summer, and we'll see you next year. Yeah! So this is our last newscast. Next week, we will air our hilarious blooper. What is wrong with me?
As a blooper.
Put that as a blooper, yeah. Okay, sorry. Although, what did I even say?
Blooperception.